Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my report on the Pisces lunar eclipse, September 17th, 2024. I am completely blown away by the power of this eclipse. All eclipses are powerful. If you know my work, you hear me talk about them every 6 months when they come. But this one has a grand trine and a kite. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this in a lot of detail and talk about all the players of this game here, because this is highly unusual for this to be occurring in the sky in conjunction with an eclipse. It's beyond powerful, and I'm just really, really surprised that this is happening. I'm calling the theme of this eclipse a giant tear in the fabric of reality, and I'm going to go into a lot of layers as to what this means and what we can expect from this brand new Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle that starts now and goes well into 2027. So what's opening up here is not just a short-term situation. This is a theme, a set of themes, a set of storylines that are blasting open in this giant tear to the fabric of our current reality, individually, globally, and this will continue in its movement, in its evolution for a long time to come. A couple of basic things to cover just to set the groundwork before we get into all the juicy details of what makes this full moon, this lunar eclipse, very unique and exceptionally powerful. Full moons bring to fruition, completion, drama, and this is a water moon, this is an eclipse. Everything with eclipses tend to be in triplicate. You may have things happen in threes. You may break 3 glasses. You may see glasses breaking like crazy, and this could be happening as early as you're listening to this and much earlier. This is a phenomenon I've noticed at eclipse time, where the tension that's in the air with the change, because manifestation is electric, the changes that are happening and the changes in our fields and the upgrades to our electrical systems energetically put a lot of tension in our fields. And sometimes that tension draws accidents and other problems. So when it draws breaking some glass, if everyone's okay from the glass break, bless it, because my personal opinion, my personal hypothesis of what I've watched is that this glass breaking can break tension in the field and actually protect us, because the breaking of the glass breaks some of the tension and it gives more coherence in our field during this very, very, very big time. So it is watery, very, very watery. Full moons always are. This is a water full moon. This is a late degree water full moon. This is 25 degrees of Pisces, September 17th. And this can definitely put water where it shouldn't be. Storms, pipes breaking, emotional waters, actual waters, be extra careful around bodies of water, swimming, all of this. Just, wow, it's a watery time and a water festival for better and worse. Manifestations can occur in an instant. Karma can be cleared instantaneously. These are some of the things that just tend to happen at eclipse times. Eclipse times help us to clear out blockages to our highest expression. And that's one of the things that they're intended to do. But I want to go very deep into what's happening here. So first I'm going to explain this configuration, talk about the players, and then I'm going to drill down into the specifics, and then we'll talk about these different layers of this tear in the fabric of reality. Okay, so it looks like a little angel here. You can imagine a little angel, the hand of the divine at work here, and also called a kite. You can see how that configures. We've got a grand trine in the sky. A trine is the most favorable aspect in all of astrology. A grand trine, especially including 2 outer planets, Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus, Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. These are tight orbs. This is only 2 degrees separate. The sun in the eclipse formation at 25 degrees, just 2 degrees away from Uranus, just 4 degrees away from Pluto. Definitely very, very, very powerful. Then, of course, the moon is going to be exactly opposite the sun. That's what happens at the full moon, the moon at 25 degrees of Pisces. And look who's there, Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces. So this is going to be a very, very Piscean experience. And that really is factoring into some of this fabric, this fabric shift here. So this is what's happening now. These 3 planets, Uranus, Pluto, and the sun, are in the trine, the grand trine found configuration. They're all of the earth elements. This is an earth trine, which means that physical, material manifestation is much, much, much more likely. These kind of things that happen, we'll notice them on this plane, on the third dimension. And that's what's going on. So then, of course, we've got the water element, intuition, the worlds of the unseen, the bridges between the material and the immaterial. This is part of our reality fabric, tearing beyond the illusion, beyond the veils. And so these 120-degree angles between each of these planets is then broken up by these, the moon and Neptune here, making two 60-degree angles. So there's a 60-degree angle, which is a favorable angle between Neptune and the moon and Uranus. There's a 60-degree angle between Neptune and the moon and Pluto. And then, of course, this point of opposition, the full moon always has that, opposing forces, pushing, pulling, elucidating, bringing to light, pushing, purging up from under the surface. Okay, so basic summary with what we've got going on here. It is a highly potent and highly transformative astrological event, working on our inner world, working on our outer world. Lunar eclipses often signify culminations or endings or significant shifts in emotional awareness or in the fabric of reality that binds the places in between, the tween worlds, between life and death, between seen and unseen, between spiritual and scientific, which in my mind, it's all the same. But those places where there's the conscious and the unconscious, sleep and wake, real and unreal, material and immaterial, these are the places where we're dancing between. We've got the potential for deep emotional release and healing. Anything having to do with this water energy is going to, and this full moon energy can bring profound release from the emotional space. It can bring to the surface very deep-seated emotions, especially ones that have been hidden or suppressed. Full moons are notorious for that. But remember these supportive, these angelic, even, angles here. These are supportive, these are positive, these are smooth and easy. The opposition energy, that can be challenged, that can be something having to crack out. But there is something soft or supported or a silver lining or something that goes here. There's a heightened sensitivity. There's a potential absolutely for emotional overwhelm. And overall, it's just a profound opportunity for release and for healing. Healing of addictions, everything in the Pisces realm, Neptunian realm, avoidance, addiction, procrastination. There's a chance for that to be completely blown out of the water. Healing old wounds. This can bring about a powerful emotional catharsis from these old wounds that have been holding you back. Those related to past relationships, those related to childhood, those related to your fundamental experience of relating to the material reality, financially, just living in the world, being human. All of these things can come up and you can experience a very dramatic rebirth on an emotional and a very tangible level. Something else that we see here with this Neptunian influence, all of this Pisces energy, we've got spiritual awakening and insight as an almost definite heightened intuition, psychic sensitivity, you name it. This conjunction with Neptune and the fact that it's in Pisces can greatly enhance dream time, intuition, psychic abilities, out-of-body experiences, visions, spiritual downloads, breakthroughs that will offer deep insight into your soul experience, the nature of your soul, the nature of life, the nature of death, the nature of these worlds and us as energetic forces that exist before a body and after. Eclipse time is definitely a time of endings and new beginnings. Letting go is a big piece, and we can't always choose what we're going to let go of. The eclipses tend to bring up non-negotiable changes and non-negotiable things to deal with. Because of this Neptunian influence, there's this letting go of illusions. Neptune's influence can definitely create confusion, illusion, and this eclipse can illuminate the areas of life where you've been deceiving yourself, where maybe you've been deceiving others, or maybe you've been clinging to unrealistic dreams, or maybe you have deep dreams that want to come out, that want to be recognized and have a voice. The energy of Pluto in this situation can help you confront these illusions and let go of them. This is the powerful ruler of the underworld. So if you've got some stuff that's really deeply rooted, Pluto is there in this beautiful angle to help to make way for new and more authentic beginnings, There may be some things that come crashing down, and Pluto is here to help you rise like the phoenix from the ashes. The energy of transformation and surrender, in this nice angle to Pluto, those are keywords that we associate with Pluto. Surrendering and trusting the process is a big thing. Neptune relating to the all that is, spiritual support, divine support, angels, angelic guidance. All of this is definitely going to involve letting go of something that's no longer serving you, relationship, belief, a habit, a way of seeing things, a way of doing things, and it's all about embracing this new direction that feels more aligned with your true self. Something else that comes up very strongly when we look at these Piscean influences is creative and artistic inspiration and expression. So there can be some element of artistic flourishing, or something associated with creativity in the arts, or something having to do with music and poetry or visual arts or dance, something that taps into the imagination, something that taps into the divine and bridges worlds. This is a world bridging energy. This also can have to do with channeling emotions into art. So your deep healing may come from this deep dive into these artistic experiences that can lead to this greater sense of fulfillment and bridge the worlds in between you and outside of you. You definitely have this energy of a heightened sense of collective empathy and connection to the all that is, an increase in the energy of humanitarian efforts, a shift towards a more compassionate way of living. The energy of Pluto here can very, very, very much bring the opportunity for personal empowerment, be able to get past power struggles, just mundane power struggles that are just silly and not helping anybody and are very low vibration. You may suddenly find the strength to face and transform these deep fears and the shadows that have been, casting darkness on your light. So you definitely have the opportunity to emerge from this time more resilient, more empowered, more clear. This is a really deeply transformative and spiritual event. So the creative expression element is here. The releasing the old patterns and illusions is here. This is a major cosmic invitation to surrender to the flow of the universe, that there's a plan that's beyond what we may understand, and there's timing, and there's a new beginning that wants to happen. There's a lot I want to say about this energy of having a giant tear in the fabric of reality, and we're going to focus a lot of energy there, but I want to talk first about how Uranus factors in. Okay, so we talked about what Pluto looks like in this equation, but now the great awakener, the lightning strike, Uranus, bringing sudden spiritual awakenings, sudden insights, sudden breakthrough moments, flashes of intuition. Uranus is definitely a catalyst for change. It can shake things up, but because this is in a nice configuration, it could be a shakeup that's welcome, a shakeup that is refreshing. People's charts are complicated, and we can't speak to what each individual will experience or other layers of what they may experience that are also true at the same time as what I'm talking about. But as far as this particular connection goes, it really can give you a liberation from the past. This planet Uranus is the planet of liberation. It's the planet of innovation. It adds this element of freedom to the eclipse. It's, could be what seemed like a random but very intense urge to break free from old emotional patterns, or break free from, just have a clean slate and a chance. And you may get that. It may come to you, or you may come to this conclusion yourself. The energy of Uranus in this configuration can be disruptive, but transformative, and possibly, like I said, enlivening or welcome, because it is in this nice angle. So creative innovation, could spark genius. This can give you new ways of doing things, unconventional methods. The changes definitely can be disruptive, but it could be welcome. It could be breaking out of stagnation. There may be a strong drive to experiment, explore new ideas. This could bring revolutionary changes in the collective also. This is, a very powerful configuration that we're talking about here, as I cannot, overstate. But the chance for revolutionary changes on a collective level are very strong. So you may feel this individually, a radical positive change. You may see this globally. There may be a sudden shift in the collective consciousness about things where, humanity could wake up and up level, an awakening to new possibilities that didn't seem, a discovery could change everything, an accomplishment could change everything. And huge problems that we have that we see no way out of right now, all of a sudden there could be hope and promise to shift this. Lots of breakthrough moments. So in general, the energy of this kite speaks of harmonious and flowing energy, easy and supportive. This opposition adds a dynamic tension that pushes you to make a change. It invites you, it's a catalyst. The easy flow of this grand trine is something that can just be, we could get lazy with that in some ways. But when you add it to a kite, it's like there's the ease, but there's the impetus combined. So it definitely can be channeled into very constructive action. So now I want to talk about this theme, the giant tear in the fabric of reality, and all of the levels on which this is true. With these Piscean connections here with Neptune and the sign of Pisces, we've got this blurring from between the reality, our reality, the general reality, and fantasy. It's a very, very, very fantastical blur. This is the kind of energy where it dissolves the boundaries between what's real and what's imagined and makes things a little bit more fuzzy. It can definitely lead to experiences where the lines between waking life and dreams and spiritual dimensions are really hard to find. And it can cause a sense of disorientation, or that reality is not as solid as it once seemed. Now, we know that reality is not really solid because everything is oscillating. Everything is in movement. And really, as much as we think we see things that are defined, our world is made up of more space than actual things. So, we are mostly space and we are all moving. And so the awareness of that can happen. Experience of nonlinear time. That's another way, where we always think of time as chronological, but it really is not. Saturnian time is chronological, and that helps us to keep our bearings straight in this ever-moving spatial, world of space. But there are many dimensions that we experience life that are nonlinear. So you might feel like a jellyfish, like a, just like a liquid form of just feeling fluid, experiencing like deja vu, premonitions, time loops. Past, present, and future seem to intertwine in ways that, pretty much just defy conventional thinking and understanding. It can definitely create a sense of reality that's way more mutable and way more flexible than typically, you would have perceived. And that can be pretty trippy and a little bit unsettling, but very cool. So another way that this giant tear in the fabric of reality is going to be experienced is through sudden spiritual revelations. I talked before about piercing the veil, and the veils are very thin at this time. So the combination of the eclipse energy, Neptune and Pluto involved, can work like a cosmic, like a scalpel, like slicing through the veils that are separating different planes of existence. And this, this surgery, this cosmic surgery could result in like a sudden, intense spiritual revelation, mystical experience. And these things can challenge your understanding of the world, of the material world, and they can definitely lead you to question the very nature of reality. It's pretty intense. So, you had a reality, it was a tapestry, just imagine, and then this eclipse comes in and it tears it, and you see behind that tapestry, behind that illusion, what else is there? What has been there all along? So you definitely can awaken to hidden realms. This can open up portals to hidden dimensions, spiritual realms. One of the really cool things that this can do is help you to heal something in the past that brings instant effects in the present, like genealogical healing. We're healing something in the present that syncs back to the past and then shifts what's happening now. You might have contact with beings of different dimensional vibrations or energies from beyond the physical plane. And something like that could definitely alter your worldview, which will definitely give insight into this the truth of this much more complex existence that we're in. Another way that this tear in the fabric of the reality that we knew can be with collective consciousness shifts. So we could have like a tidal wave of collective conscious, shifts. The collective unconscious could heal radically on a global level. So, Neptune being involved in this can unleash this really strong flood of collective unconscious material that can then be integrated rapidly, kind of just soaked up in a way by this structure that's being held here, this sacred geometrical shape that's helping to bridge us between worlds. This can manifest as a collective shift where a bunch of people experience a sudden awakening or realization at once, where you might see, a bunch of people start posting about things that they figured out, and it's the same thing, and we found this over time, that humanity would go through these things where everywhere in the known world at different times, people started doing something or thinking something or seeing something a certain way, or inventions happened simultaneously in places that weren't connected. And those are the kind of things that can happen now, where all of a sudden, a bunch of people have a great idea, but they're not intentionally connected. They don't know each other. They're all across the world. And then, this radical shift occurs. This can have to do with, the mass disillusionment being lifted into a higher state of understanding, because we have a lot of disillusionment right now. We've got, it's getting more and more. The more people that come in, the more aware we've become of, the fact that all humans pretty much have some sort of mental dis-ease. And being online and around all of the different aberrant frequencies, definitely getting people's nervous systems off. And there could be, a collective questioning of reality. There could also be information that comes out that shows that some things have been going on all along. It definitely can open the space for the consensus of reality to open up for a new paradigm. Something else that can be part of this tear in our current conventional, normal, accepted fabric that we're used to looking at, the tapestry of our experience, is major psychological breakthrough and breakdown as a way to break through. So a shattering of the ego. We really do need the ego while being informed. We have to have something to put everything through so that we can work within the material realm. But sometimes the ego gets overdeveloped. And so there could be a major cosmic clearing of the ego, bringing about altered states of consciousness, spontaneous mystical experiences, and, just leave that feeling that the fabric of what you considered real has been, like irrevocably split or torn. And we can also see global or cosmic events. So anomalies in the physical reality, this tear in the fabric of reality can manifest as strange and unexplained physical phenomena, unusual weather patterns. We've already been dealing with that. Disruptions in technology, rare astronomical events. They can be perceived as signs that reality is shifting, that our light circuitry is getting upgraded, and that unseen forces are at play. Now, in general, someone might worry about something nefarious happening at this time, but I think hopefully you can see, even just from the coherent configuration, that any nefarious plot that might try to come out at this time is going to have to bump up against this sacred geometrical, beautiful, coherent configuration of protection. So it does have that involved. It is like this holding grounding cord that literally you see like these arms holding up like this, or like holding everything up. So some things like that may happen, but I think the counter forces to balance those will also be there. We could have quantum leaps in our understanding. So on a global or a cosmic scale, breakthroughs in science, it feels like quantum physics, or the bringing of quantum physics understandings out, more to the mainstream reality in ways that are usable and understandable, that share fundamental truths about the universe, contributing to this sense of reality that we know it is being transformed. There is some sense of, life being a game in this plane, we're players in a game. And when we don't know the rules of the game, it's really hard to play it well. So information about how to play this game of life could definitely come out, which can enhance and expand and enrich the experience for everybody. So wow, that's a lot, right? Well, if you resonate with my work and you want to find more, if you're on my YouTube channel, you can find my playlist that will be at the end of this. You can see my September and later in September, my October reports. If you want my October horoscopes and all of the horoscopes that I post early, you can go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in. You get mini astrology lessons. You get my monthly write-up of the sweet and salty date. You get the archive link to access all of this. You get my 28-day virtual coaching program for free. Adding to all of this, this energy of eclipses, you also will get my eclipse resource page in the welcome letter. And in the September reports, I go into this eclipse, not in this type of detail. This is reserved completely for this discussion here in this report. But I do go into specifics of how each sign may manifest this eclipse and the one that we have coming in October as well. As I mentioned at the beginning, and I'd like to, kind of close here towards the end, is that we've got this energy that's opening up has some sort of time frame that stretches into 2027. So an evolutionary process is opening, a portal is opening, and the Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle that's being burst open with this amazing kite, is going to be very strongly at work into 2027. If you want to have my insights into how the outer planet transits will affect your personal chart, you can see my outer planet transit report at anniebclarity.com, anniebclarity.com. These links are also in the notes underneath the podcast and the video. If you want to find the September readings in the podcast version, you just have to scroll back in time to my posts and you'll find the September ones there. If you want to learn astrology in a more systematic way, and you go to anniehelpsyou.com and you scroll down, you can see my up level button and that will take you to my courses. Or if you want to really go for the gusto, you can go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, and see my very comprehensive astrology mastery course with optional certification. If you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn, you want to be able to do this and help people, you want to be able to understand reports more, you want to be able to look at this and make sense of it and learn from it and grow from it, I can definitely help you. I've been an astrology teacher for decades, and that is my great joy. So you can go to beastropro.com to see my astrology mastery course. I hope that wonderful things happen from this eclipse. And if you like this work, click the bell, subscribe first, click the bell, because if you don't click the bell, I won't go into your feed. And you can enable notifications so you won't miss anything from me, because I definitely have things that I post every month, as I have for 13 years, the horoscopes. And then I have things that I do more randomly, so you won't miss anything. If you like, subscribe, click the bell, and enable notifications. I'll see you in the next report. Bye.